Everyone. My name is Ethan, and I am Sean's best man tonight. In my mind, there are two things that we are here to celebrate tonight. The first, and let's be honest, the most important in my opinion, is that we have an open bar. So go ahead and make some noise if you're excited to have a couple drinks tonight. All right. Also, Sean, who was responsible for the open bar? Was it you? Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My dad once told me, Ethan, on your wedding day, do not get blackout drunk. You're gonna wanna remember that. And that makes me think my dad probably doesn't remember his wedding day. So my first piece of advice for you is, you're gonna wanna remember tonight. Last night, my dad told me, it's probably okay if you get blackout drunk on Sean's wedding night. So for me, I plan to have a couple drinks, and maybe more. And I probably don't wanna remember this speech, because it's gonna get a little weird. The second thing we're here to celebrate, equally important, is that Sean and Kate are getting married. So let's get started. When Sean asked me to be his best man, he called me. I'm living in Maryland, and the first thing I said was, are you sure you want to do that? I've known Sean and Kate for about 10 years now. We met during my first year at the University of Toronto, and we spent a lot of time together, which means I've seen everything. I've seen the good moments, I've seen the weird moments, and we all know they both can get a little weird. And I've seen those moments you wouldn't want a close friend of yours to tell an entire room of 200 people at your wedding. You wouldn't want them to share that. That is a hint. Before the wedding though, So yes, I do have a vault of embarrassing stories, and I feel like it's my job to use them tonight, but I tried to be judicious and choosing. But Kate did tell me, try to be fun, help people have a good time. So if this goes off the rails, that's on her. Alright, so Sean and Kate both suggested to me that I use this speech as an opportunity to advertise myself as a single man. I swear they said that. I swear they said it, okay? But tonight, I appreciate your generosity, I really do. But I wouldn't take the spotlight for 30 seconds. I wouldn't do it, not on your night. I could stand here and tell you that I'm emotionally available, I have a stable job, hobbies like soccer and cooking, a healthy relationship with not one but both of my parents. I can also tell you I'm 5'8" on a good day, which is higher than average if you're looking at the global average. But I promised I wouldn't do that. Today, it's not about me. It's about Sean and Kate and the incredible bond that they've built together. So I want to share a few stories with you that in my eyes really show the strength of their relationship. As I said, we all met in college, and fun fact, I actually introduced them. That's right. We are all in this room because of me. I had planned a group outing to see a movie at the theater. I invited about 8 friends, including the amazing Caitlin Harrigan. Lover of composting, hater of social media. But as I thought about it, I wondered, what is this night missing? It's missing something. Something is missing. Would anyone want to guess? Does anyone want to guess what's missing? Sean, correct. Sean is missing. I gave him a call. I said, Sean, you're gonna miss something out. You're gonna miss on something. This is the guy who once saw people playing frisbee in the park, asked them to throw it to him so he could practice catching it while diving, and nearly dislocated his shoulder. This is the guy who last night, when I tried to take a picture with him and Kate, he planted a huge kiss on my cheek because he had too much to drink. He smelled like turmeric for some reason. Does anyone know why? New perfume, perhaps. He's also the guy who, in the time that I've known him, has said many things I absolutely cannot and will not repeat in front of you tonight. He pleaded to me not to share certain things, and I'm not going to do that. In other words, Sean is full of surprises, so I convinced him to leave another party, join us at this movie, and yes, he met his wife that night. I'm a bit of a matchmaker, you could say. Sean basically had no choice but to make me his best man after that. No choice, really, no choice. From the very beginning of their relationship, one thing stood out, how much they liked each other. Their level of affection was a lot to handle. Sean was much worse though. Kate would tell me that she missed Sean. Sean would be like, I'm not gonna see her again for a whole day. I can't wait. It's too long. But it wasn't just the words, it was how they made time for each other, how they cared for each other, and how they handled their challenges with maturity and empathy. So when I started to suspect that marriage might be on the horizon, I decided to give them one final test. I devised a chaotic plan, a cross-country road trip from Maryland to California through the heart of the United States. Just the three of us, me as the third wheel. Me as the third wheel. Because if your relationship can survive a long, stressful trip with me in the back seat, it probably can survive anything. I know some of you don't know me, but one thing about myself with them is I like to cause some stuff. So maybe Sean and Kate are arguing about something, like a silly political thing. I might say, I see Sean getting a little frustrated, I might say, Sean, I think Kate has a point, and I think you're wrong. And then I take a step back and just see what happens. Our first major test came in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. We were setting up the camp. Kate and I were excited, eating beans out of a can, living the dream. But Sean starts getting nervous about the clouds and the distant thunder. Naturally, Kate and I, we tried to reassure him. Sean, relax, relax. That's just a cow. That's not thunder, that's a cow. This is Ohio, that's normal. We ignored him, but as the wind picked up and the sky turned black and our tent literally took flight, we realized maybe Sean does have a point. We threw everything in the car just as rain starts pouring. I drove through this storm unsure if I was gonna crash into something, and Kate was in the back seat, the tent covering her entire body. I didn't actually realize she was there. When we made it to the hotel, you'd think we were safe, but this hotel was rough. Sean immediately began inspecting the room. He found a few red stains on the bed, dead bugs in the bathroom. He turned to both of us and said, please take me to the airport. I want to go back to Toronto. And at this point, Kate thought the magnificent trip we planned together was ruined on day one. But with no encouragement from me, it was a test. I could not step in here. Kate and Sean, they talked about it. They found a new hotel. They got some food. And later that night, as all three of us were getting tucked into the same queen-size bed, which was the only thing we could find at midnight in Ohio, we started to think, you know what? Maybe we will get to California. Maybe we will. And that moment really turned into one of the most memorable adventures of our lives, exploring places like Kansas, Utah, and we did make it to California in a tiny Subaru Crosstrek. So Kate, maybe sometimes, and I probably should do this as well, it's okay to admit Sean has a point. And Sean, I think it's important to have patience even when you're feeling overwhelmed. Now, to be fair, Kate had her moments too. You thought you were safe. We're here now. In Las Vegas, Kate needed some space. I can't remember why. I really wish I did, because I would tell you today. But everyone, go ahead and close your eyes. And I need you to close your eyes, everybody. Close your eyes for a second. And just picture this, okay? You are sitting in a car next to Sean for 14 days. Okay, you can open your eyes. I think we can all understand why Kate is getting a little frustrated here. So Sean and I gave her the space that she needed, and we did what a lot of people have done when their partner asks for some space. We went to the casino, we had a couple drinks, and Sean's actually very good with his finances, me not so much. I lost my life savings. That's one thing I will say is that's a good trait for a marriage, is being good with your finances. So the part about me though, I really wish that was a joke. We're still recovering from that. Anyways, despite all of the chaos, some of which I definitely encouraged, Sean and Kate showed resilience, patience, and teamwork on this trip. They passed the road trip test. And that's when I knew this relationship could go the distance. Sean and Kate, they both have something special together. They complement each other, they challenge each other, and they always circle back to mutual respect. I've seen them disagree. I was in a car with them for 14 days. I was a part of a couple conversations that I didn't want to be a part of, and the only exit was the door to a highway, and we're going like 80 miles per hour, because Sean drives a little fast. It makes me scary. It's kind of scary. But I've also seen how they listen to each other, and I've seen how their relationship has grown over the last 8 years, ever since I first introduced them. That's the crowning achievement. I will brag about it until the day I die. Anyways, I'd like to end with a toast. So everyone please raise your glass. Ooh, I have a nice prop glass right here. It does have some alcohol in it, so we're good. All right, here's my toast. The anticipation Oh my God. All right. To Kate and Sean, you both mean the world to me. We've shared many great days together, and you've both been there for me on the days that I needed a friend. It's an honor to know you both, an honor to call you my friends, and an honor to speak to your family and friends at your wedding. I actually can't believe you chose me, but it's such an honor. I wish you a marriage filled with laughter and unforgettable experiences. May you always have the patience to listen, the courage to speak truthfully, and the empathy to meet each other in the middle. To Kate and Sean, everyone, thank you.